Oh, wow. O great spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, and whose breath gives life to all the world. Hear me, I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty, and make my eyes ever hold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. Help me remain calm and strong in the face of all that comes towards me. Help me find compassion without empathy overwhelming me. I seek strength, not to be greater than my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes. So when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Oh, wow. Pura vida, mi gente. Much love and respect. Thank you for tuning in once again. Appreciate you guys coming through on your Friday afternoon. Shabbat Shalom, Hawa. I hope you like that prayer. Sometimes we gotta, after a day of venting, we gotta come back. Come back to the truth, right? The way, the right direction. Remember what's important. Remember what's important. I'm glad you guys are here. We're gonna freestyle it a little bit today with some deep info as well. This is like we're gonna surf the wave together. Shout out to Keith. Shout out to Keith Lowry. Been following me for a while. Helped him out with genealogy. We met up again today after a while and got to update ourselves and everything's going and look at the tree a little bit on his specific line, couple lines. One of them was the Lowry, his Lowry family line, which go back to Robeson County, North Carolina. All right, so we're gonna take a look at what we found there and also how it applies to everything we've learned. We've been learning. Okay, a lot of people, they come with their hate, but we come with love, man. We hope, you can't mess with a con on the Shabbat. You can't mess with a con on the Shabbat. So Most High take care of that. Great Spirit knows your heart. So you can front people, but you can't front the Great Spirit. No hijacks allowed. This is sparked. Hey, appreciate you guys, for real. All right. Again, shout out to Keith and the Lowry, anybody who's a Lowry. And not all of them are the same, but if you're from this region and everything, you might be. If you're people coming from this region, you definitely are, So it's not just the Lowry family. There's a lot of families that we're going to talk about that are all related to the Lowrys and everything. You guys will see. We're going to try to read as much as we can. I hope you're not in a rush. I mean, I'm not trying to be long, but I also don't want to be Russian. He said, I don't want to be Russian like Vladimir. No, sir. All right. Let me see. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. Wow. All right. All right. All right. Genealogy. Genealogy is very important. Genealogy is very important, and especially if you want to, talk about your ancestors and claim certain things and judge yourself and others. A very good way to clarify certain things. And if you can't find certain things you believe in, then you shouldn't carry beliefs and conjectures only. You should know, you should really know. And there's a way to really know. With certain lines, certain ancestors, you're lucky enough to go pretty far back or whatever, So I just want to show you, I just want to show you that just so you can remember, see the whole story, right? We got to, this is as far as back we could get to on his Lowry line. If you guys know or recognize this and you know who his parents are or related to these people, you see the names, right? Then you can probably help out, reach out. But we hit that dead end, right? That a lot of people hit and their families. But the difference with this line is that the Lowrys are very well known in the area and are known to be Indians and other things. But a lot of Indians, they were known to be like this whole area. They were calling this is a free colored town, free Negro town, free colored people, things like that. So and we're going to read certain things that are going to show that even though you may not get past certain lines, if you know the history, the name, and your certain time period, and you know the region, you can kind of know who your people are. All right, guys, so are you paying attention? You guys can hear me, right? Henry Berry Lowry is my 4th grade. Okay. A Boom's Watch Chess channel. Check it out. I got signed deep to talk about Henry Berry Lowry, okay? All right. And I hope you understand after I show you everything. Like, you got to be logical, right? And if you've been following me, I don't know if you're new here or you've been following me, you know that all Europeans weren't white, right? Right? You know all Europeans weren't white, right? Okay. You know, being so-called black doesn't mean African, right? You know, being called black or Negro, free colored person, mulatto, you know that doesn't mean African, right? Are you guys taking notes? We gotta do the disclaimers. We gotta remind people, right? All right, we ain't going with conjectures. We're gonna go with what we can prove. Okay? We're gonna go with what we can prove today. I see a lot of people coming in. I really want people to understand what I'm saying right now and hopefully hear it. And I know a lot of people are gonna come in late. If you can remind the people that come in late, you know what I said in the beginning, I would appreciate that. You know, those 2 points. Maybe let's make the points right now. I'm gonna write in the chat. Hold on. Point 1. Just we'll go ahead and paste stamp it so it can stay on point 1. All Europeans were not white, right? Well, let's say pale, because white was a status, right? And then I'm gonna say point 2. Being so-called black, Negro, free colored, or whatever other tag you have for dark-skinned people, or just put dark-skinned people, dark-skinned, does not mean African. Okay, basics, 101. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and paste this, right? I'm gonna pin this message so we can remember that, right? I know a lot of people are gonna come in. You guys hearing me? We're in a lesson now, right? We're in a lesson now. Pay attention, everybody. I see people coming in. 70, right? Let's go. We can get more. They're not sending out notifications, guys. Don't worry. Okay, so either way, we begin where do we begin? You begin by doing your genealogy. If not, I wouldn't have known none of this. If not, Keith wouldn't have known none of this. So you begin with your genealogy, not with your beliefs and trying to debate and blah, 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 blah. Show me the genealogy. I know a lot of you don't go with the genealogy thing. I know, I'm Hebrew. I don't care about that. All right. I'm the foundational black man. I don't care about all that. I homie, do you, dog? All right, man. Over here, though, we doing it for real. And we got facts. All right, so you can believe whatever you like. Talk about Armored Khan, right? Oh, here we go. So Thomas Lowry, 1876, Robeson County. We searched, but we did find a lot of Lowrys, a lot of Thomas Lowrys. We see it. I told them right away, I see a trend, right? This has to be a progenitor. I told him, as Keith, I told him right away, I was like, Keith, this is probably a name of one of the progenitors is Thomas, and they're passing it down. There's so many Thomases in your Lowry family. He even got a Thomas Jr., right? And before him, and then cousins are named Thomas, and then you go find other families who are different families, probably related to, cousins or whatever, and they're Thomas as well. So I see certain names are being passed down, James, Thomas, John, right? So I told them that. So we actually did find, you guys are going to see. So all those are indications, leads, right? Leads. That's what's up, Boonshak. So we're going to talk a lot about your family today, but I hope I help you with some context, all right? And I hope you're open-minded and willing to maybe see things in a different way when it comes to how you go through the records and what they're telling us right? What so-called historians and genealogists and all these people are telling us about our families, adding hijacks and stuff. Have you been able to detect the hijacks? I hope you have. If not, I'm gonna try to help you with that stuff today. What's up, man? What's up? Come in. Come in. All right. Guys, I know. I just want a good amount of people here. I don't want anybody coming in with hijacks middle of the, you right? Yeah, so, okay. So I'm going kind of slow, right? I got a, I got a pin message on the live chat. If anybody just came in, make sure you understand those 2 points. Make sure you understand those 2 points. Okay. You guys can keep copy pasting it if you like. Every so 15, maybe 20 minutes, just in case we get new people. Y'all can help me with that. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Keep Lowry, right? All right, all right. What we got? Let's just see what we got here, bro. So I found this book. All right, we're gonna surf the wave, guys. Live. And so it says the Lowry history as acted in part by Henry Berry Lowry, great North Carolina bandit, with biographical sketch of his associates, illustrated, being a complete history of the modern robber band in the county of Robeson and state of North Carolina. Okay, by the Lumbee Publishing Company. So, real quick, the Lowry family, huh? So, as I was helping him with genealogy, I'm like, oh wow, there was like a whole so-called Lowry gang and all that, and causing trouble, right? So you got to get the context behind it, right? So we're gonna get the whole story just to prove a point and just to help understand something that I'm gonna show you about whitewashing. Okay, you got to be logical. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, we live, baby. Yeah, I got a lot of video in North Carolina, guys. This ain't the first one, but welcome all the North Carolina people or anybody that their ancestors go back to North Carolina, these regions. Have you ever heard, oh, I'm Lumbee or I'm Eastern Siouan, Catawbas, Zaponi, Haliwa, Croatan. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot of the Eastern Siouans, the Sira people. So we got to talk. This is all involved. This is all the same, right? Okay. The Lowry family participated, particularly Henry Berry Lowry, it says here, AI on Doug Search, right? Played a significant role in the history of Robeson County, North Carolina, during and after the Civil War. They were part of the Lumbee tribe. Okay? They were part of the Lumbee, so-called Lumbee. We're going to talk about the Lumbee, and became known for leading the Lowry gang. There's a whole gang, the Lowry gang, yo. So they're Indians, and you're calling them a gang, right? The Indians, you're calling them a gang, right? Which engaged in guerrilla warfare against local authorities and wealthy plantation owners, often viewed as Robin Hood figures by some locals. Now, the way this is explaining it is explaining it in a very bad way, because they were literally fighting for their survival, for their land and the colonization of the taking, all that. What the settlers were doing, even though they carry also settler blood. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you. This is history. We got to get past the emotions, past what our beliefs are. You can have your beliefs, but in this channel, we're talking about history. This ain't about beliefs here, right? This ain't church. Okay, so overview of the Lowry family in Robeson County. The Lowry family, particularly Henry Berry Lowry, is a significant part of the history of Robeson County, North Carolina. They are known for their mixed ancestry, including Tuscarora, Lumbee, and Scottish roots. Including, all right, so see how AI didn't even say African? The AI knows the draw, it can't say it. He didn't say African. So this Scottish, we're going to see what this Scottish really is, right? It's deep. You guys are going to see how it all links up to the research. We ain't rubbing nothing in the hood. That's what I'm saying. The family was prominent in the area, with Henry Berry Lowry being born around 1845 to Allen and Mary Kumbo. The Combs, Lowry says, okay, so that's just a little brief thing, right? We're gonna read from this book that I just showed you guys. Again, we're freestyling it. So remember, when it comes to helping out the brother here, Keith, that's where we got on his Lowry side. We hit a dead end. But I'm gonna show you. There's no doubt that he is the same family. I'm gonna show you. Because you gotta have discernment. The tribe knows. The people that do the tribal thing, they know automatically. When they see something like this, a Lowry in Robeson County, 18, they know what's up. They can't deny Keith. They cannot deny Keith. He already got mad proof. Okay? Now here's the rest of the proof. James Lowry, a tall, well-proportioned, fine-looking, respectable Indian. Indian, right? Indian. Nobody's being referred to as African, mulatto, free-colored, right? Indian. First settled in Roberson County about the year 1769. This was Bladen County at the time, so that was what it was called. Roberson County was actually Bladen County. On the 9th of August, 1769, James Lowry bought a tract of land containing 100 acres from William Ford, to whom it was granted by George II. And most likely, I know a lot of people say he was a black man. I haven't really, but I think I have seen a source where he's described as swarthy, but I do believe he is a so-called black man. George II, right? So in 1748, he gave him 100 acres, man. So this Indian, huh? Why he giving an Indian 100 acres? That's something I said to Keith, like maybe he fought in a war or something, but you guys will see. Let's keep reading. He also entered another tract of land containing 300 acres adjoining the above tract, the grant being signed by George III. On the above mentioned tracts of land now owned by the heirs of the late Colonel Archibald McEachern, James Lowry first settled. About 500 yards below the residence of Colonel McEachern, a band of swamp is shown the place where James Lowry resided. Okay, so hold up. Let me just get, okay, so here's some other families, all right? So he came first to Robeson from Butte County. So this James Lowry, this Lowry line, so you see how we're trying to trace. So this is what we're doing when I'm helping in my genealogy today in the morning. This was this morning. I'm searching the internet. I found this book and I look. This is the progenitor of the Robinson Lowrys. Okay, this is the progenitor right here, right? And he came from Butte County, so we're able to trace. He goes now Franklin and Warren counties. Okay, in company with Silas Atkins, who emigrated also from Butte County, from that portion now called Franklin. Other families also, the Thompsons, the Kitchens, the Cools, the Drakes, Moores, yeah, Coles. I know these are swarthy folks, trust me. Humphreys, Bridgers, and whose descendants still live in Robinson, came to Bladen County, now Robinson, from that part of North Carolina. So they all came with the Lowrys, right? That's what this book is telling us. James Lowry, from whom all the Lowrys, very important, are descended. Okay? So what is this telling you? You guys, all right, let's take notes. This is how you battle the hijacks, right? Oh, maybe he got the name because he's a slave of the Lowrys, Africans were there. I know, sorry, it says here, James Lowry, from which all the Lowrys in Robinson descended. All the Lowrys in Robinson County descended. So wouldn't that include Thomas Lowry in Robeson County right here? And if you can't prove this is a slave or anything like that, then that is conjecture. We're going to go with what we know, facts. The Lumbee people know this, especially this far back, 1876, living in Robeson County. All the Lowrys again, and Robinson descent from James Lowry. It was in Franklin County, North Carolina, that he was manumitted by his father, supposedly James Lowry, right, of Virginia. He was freed by his own dad. Pay attention, right? This is the wording on stuff, right? We're reading a book that's from 1875. This is the original. This is very close to the dude's life. This is actually his primary source. This is Henry Berry's primary source. All right. This is from 1875. I got an original and I got another version. So nobody's here like if anybody comes in 2002, I'm going to show you, and starts adding African hijacks and all this disrespectful, very paper genocidal talk. We don't listen to that, guys. You got to go to the sources. And if the source is telling you, the primary source is telling you something, that's what you got to go with. You go from there. Yeah, shout out to the Tuscarora Saponi. You know, this is all related. This is the same people right here. Yes, Eastern Siouans. Tuscarora were originally Siouans, not Iroquois. Originally Siouans before they joined the Iroquois Confederacy. So they are related to these people. And they were there involved, and these are the same people. Like they have Tuscarora, Saponi, you know, Eastern Siouan blood, all eventually combining in a region called the Lumbee River. They get the name the Lumbees. But it's a complex mixture of a lot of things. A lot of people try to discredit them and disfranchise them because of their false idea of history that all Europeans were white and that all black folks were from Africa and slaves. We already debunked that, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you catch up and learn real history. It's time for you to do that. It's time for you to do that. There's no excuses. With 2025, you got info everywhere. Do your own research. So this is the progenitor. I'm gonna keep reading, right? So it was from there in Franklin that they came. His dad, yeah. So he's a junior. So nothing about him being a slave, right? He's talking about manumitted. I haven't seen that either. I haven't found anything that says that he was enslaved by his dad or anything like that yet. You will see everything we found today, right? So you tell me, where does it say? Anyways, it's his dad anyways. James Lowry, his dad, the senior, right, of Virginia. So look, we went all the way back to Virginia. So you see how that Lowry name went from, we were at Robeson County, ended up in Franklin, then it's really coming from Virginia. It still might be the same clans, right? Like Virginia got Indians, that Saponis got, yeah. So it became one of the United States who, when Virginia became one of the United States, was elected a judge. So his dad was a judge, listen, and was ever afterwards known as Judge Lowry. He was of Cavalier stock and characterized by elegance and refinement of manners. Tall and commanding in personal appearance, urban, courtly, and genteel in the whole deportment. Now, when I read this earlier and I saw Cavalier, I mean, even though it's just describing him, I'm like, wait, Cavaliers usually, like, I don't know, that to me, that's associated more with French people, to me, sorry, to me, right? I told Keith that. Oh, I was like, oh, so maybe Lowry's French, right? This is before I had even checked. And he said, no, it's Scottish. Well, he's like, from my research, it's Scottish. So I looked it up. I'm going to show you guys, right? Right? You see, Lowry, Irish, Scottish, right? Irish, Scottish, right? Irish, Scottish, supposedly, right? Right? But this website, see, the thing about this website, sometimes it's missing a little history, right? And that's why we go to the sources. That's why we go to the primary sources, right? I'm going to show you where that Lowry really originates and with who. And you guys are going to be like, oh, man, here's another one. All right, you guys probably already know what I'm going to say. Hey, anybody that knows, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. So it was in Franklin County that James Lowry, so the dad, right, married his wife. Maiden name was Sarah Kiersey, who's supposed to be, listen, or Sally, right? Sarah's or Sally's. If you ever see, that's very important. If you ever see Sarah or Sally, like if you have an ancestor called Sarah and you keep seeing records that keep showing up as Sally, that is a lot of the times the same person. It's a nickname for Sarah, if you guys didn't know that. So if you see Sally and then you keep finding a Sarah, it's not two different people. It might be the same person. Okay? So they're calling her a half-breed Tuscarora Indian, right? There you go, Tuscarora. I told you they're going to mention them. from this couple, all the Lowrys, and Robeson traced back their origin. Okay? They trace back their origin. So wouldn't that include Mr. Thomas Lowry from 1876 in Robeson County? Okay? It applies. It applies. It applies. You got to understand, the Lumbee know this. The Lumbee know this. So nobody can play dumb. Nobody can say, no, you're not, you're only this much blood. None of that. Prove, disprove what we're finding, first of all. The burden of proof is on them, guys. This is what I'm going to explain to you throughout the video. Okay? Half-breed Tuscarora. So what are they saying? They're saying that this James, pay attention, right? He was supposed to be an Indian. Call him a respectable Indian here. They didn't say he just called him an Indian. If you leave it at that, you'd be like, oh, this is 100% Indian, right? I know a lot of you, when I first read this, you said, oh, there goes the Indian right there, 100%. 100%, right? Nah, not really. Not really. So I guess the Indian they're trying to say comes from his mom's side, right? We don't know if before these Lowrys in Virginia, there's a history they were Indians. They could be too. We don't know that because it doesn't go past that, right? It doesn't go, and I don't know, I haven't read the whole book, but it doesn't go past that, right? But they're saying his mom was a Tuscarora, half Tuscarora. What does that mean? Meaning, not, look, this is offensive, right? Half-breed, but they mean half, one of her parents is Tuscarora, and one of her parents might be a European. So how much Indian is James? But they're calling him an Indian. He must carry, even if these people are half, their parents might be like, Indians and more Indians and half and this and keep being half. Eventually, it's a lot of Indian blood. You get what I'm trying to tell you guys? Like, it's very complex though. And you got to have an open mind. And I bet you, let's say, I'm just giving an example. You got a family say, oh, look, I found my ancestor. He's a Lowry, he's an Indian, 100% right here. But all the Lowrys descend from these two people. And that counted. This is the real history right here. No going around that. That's where it's going to lead to, guys. That's where it's going to lead to. So this opens up our mind to a lot of opportunities and more to research. It's more complex than we think, okay? But either way, we're dealing with Indians, right? We're dealing with Indians. The above statement in regard to the origin of the Lowry family in Roberson County is not current rumor, but a true statement as given by James Lowry himself and corroborated by Silas Atkins, with whom he came to Roberson County in 1679. That's who they came with, right? And other families, remember? Other families. It says James Lowry had 3 sons. This is the junior, right? James Lowry had 3 sons, William, and look at this, Thomas, James. So literally, the progenitor had basically 3 other progenitors. His sons became progenitors, right? They were the first born in that place. Thomas, huh? That's why I was telling Keith, you paid attention to me earlier. Not you, Keith, I mean everybody in the chat. That I told Keith, hey, it might be a name that is being passed down. So that might be a lead, because I see a lot of Thomases. I said that before I even knew. One of the progenitors was named Thomas. Thomas Lowry. Thomas Lowry. Roberson County. We're dealing with the same people. They're passing down the names. These are not slave names. Why am I saying that? Yeah, because this is a so-called black man. Tom Lowry, South Carolina. Phoebe, it's them, so-called black. Thomas Lowry, different ways they spelling it, but that's just the census errors, right? Everything else matches. So William, right? William, Thomas, and John, a recurring name. That's what I was saying earlier, guys. Recurring name. Back to the story. It all comes. This is what I'm saying. I'm giving you hints of how you have to discern through your obstacles, through your dead ends. I'm trying to help you guys. Let's just, Okay, let's just go slow and let me just get to the end, like before we draw generalized conclusions, so yeah, let's go. So there's a Thomas, like I said, in the commencement of the Revolutionary War, William, his oldest, being that about grown, entered into the struggle for independence and blah. So it keeps going deeply about them, right? One of them, William, I think William, his arm got cut off. Look, there's specific stories. William Lowry received a severe sword cut in his left hand from a Tory, the Catholics, right? The who? The Jacobites. James McPherson. Shout out to Katrina. Yo, Katrina, if you're hearing, she's a McPherson. I did her genealogy. I bet you this is one of her ancestors right here. And her McPherson line, these were black folks, guys. Anyways, but I just want to show you, we lost context when they told us history. This very well could be two melanated people, black on black. It's not about two white people or an Indian fighting a, well, yeah, Indian. The McPherson guy might even have some Indian too. You never know. His mixture, how long they've been in the States. So I just want to show you, right? Like, have context. You thought the Jacobites, some people, oh, we the Jacobites. So who's the good guy here and who's the bad guy here? Let me know. Let me know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy here, according to you guys. If these are both melanated folks, let's say who would be the good guy, who would be the bad guy, huh? Let me know, because we know we got the listed, the Jacobites, we got them listed in the ships, right? We got their complexions described in primary sources as swarty, dark, brown, dark, swarty, dado. You guys remember, right? We know the Lorries are melanated folks. Trust me, I'm going to show you. Okay, so the two other, James Lowry and Thomas. So this is a little about his sons, right? So let's see. There was something I wanted to show here before I get out of here. So here goes the Locklear. That's what the brother in the chat was saying. Boom. What chat? I mean, your name is hard to pronounce, bro. Boom. I'm gonna just call you Boom. Okay. Boom was saying he's a Locklear. The Locklears are definitely family. It says after the death of James Lowry, his son William Lowry married Betty Locklear, a half-breed Tuscarora Indian. So that whole thing about half-breed, see what I'm saying? It's a very bad way of saying that. Locklear meaning hold fast. Thomas Lowry, his second son, married Nancy Dees, a white woman. And when they say white here, don't go with the hijack. They mean European. They just mean European. Class, status, free white. Remember what free white and Black's Law Dictionary means. 4th edition. Go look it up. Anybody that's having hard time digesting what I'm saying. Okay? So Thomas married a European woman. James Lowry, his third son, never married. Alan Lowry, a son of William Lowry, married Polly Kumba, another Kumba, Combo, a woman of Portuguese extraction. I know you guys are smart enough to understand what that means. What does that mean, guys? What does that Portuguese extraction mean? Remember, we gone over the history. We gone over the history. Come on, guys. Not Catholics. Come on, man. Come on, guys. No. Not chasers either. I'm not talking about that. Oh, I think maybe you're talking about something else, man. All right. But anyways, guys. All right, I'm going to say it. Sephardic Jew. Portuguese crypto Sephardic Jew. Sephardic Jews, Portuguese, Moorish, Muslim cryptos. That's what they're talking about. Cryptos. So-called Portuguese. Yeah, they're coming from Portugal. Cryptos. So the Kumbas or Kombas, even though they're Indians too, they might have Sephardic in them. They might have Sephardic in them. I'm going to show you why the Lowry Mariner, somebody who is Sephardic Jew, makes so much sense. I'm going to show you guys. They keep it in the family. He raised a large family of sons and daughters, all right? So look, the name, look, this is what I'll show you. So Even this William, right? He had a William Jr. So the name is being passed down. He had another Thomas Lowry. This is another Thomas. Are we talking about? Are we talking about? Right? Hey Keith, pay attention, Keith. You know, when I was earlier, we didn't really try to link this up, the time periods. But hey, look. All right, Keith, pay attention. Maybe he's, because this would be like the great grandson of James Lowry, Keith. So it kind of, the time might be there, the same time period is what I'm saying for this guy, right? Your ancestor, your second great grandfather. So just keep a note of that, right? Keep a note of that. We might be able to link that up. So what I'm trying to point out, though, they passing down the name, right? Like I told them they were, because that's what they do. They pass down progenitors' names a lot in families. And look, the famous Henry Berry Lowry. What? Sephardic? An Indian and Sephardic Jew, huh? Now, boom, be honest. You say you are descendant. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you ever think about stuff like something like that? Did you even that come across your mind that Sephardic Jewish could be in there? You know, I know you know the Indian part on the combos and the lorries, but did you think like that? You think about that, where these names are coming from? Okay. Just let me know if you do, if you want to answer. Keith, if you want to give a testimony and say, hey, I didn't, honestly, I didn't, but it may, whatever you want to say too, man. Okay, man. I get that your family, man. I just want to, I hope you're listening to me. I hope you could, hey, War Chief, we ain't even there yet. But you're spoiling it. You just spoiled it, but it's all good. It's all good. He said Africans, and man, get the, hey, hold on. Don't block this guy, please, because he's not being disrespectful yet. Hey, Jock Kohan on the chat, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. Guys, can you guys remind him the points? This is what I was saying. Angola, yo, listen, man. I know there's a place in I think Cameroon. See, you're, oh man. So because he hears a similar word in Africa, or a town or a place called with the same, you think we don't have those words, cumbia? Where you think cumbia comes from? That's you think that's all African, right? Yeah, okay, that's your people, but you've never done research like this. You must think that black folks come from Africa, right? Be honest. Where do black folks come from, Jock? Where do all black folks come from, Jock? He's tripping big time, Keith. He's over here trying to talk about your family. When you went real far back and you got records. He's talking about Kunta Kinte stories. He's talking about family, things they made up in the family reunions in the 70s and 80s during Black Power, Black Power. With all respect, man, with all respect, you can't prove no African part. You're just saying that because of the complexion. And you missed the points. Guys, remind them about the points. Okay, thank you. Read the points right there. That's your own hijacks, man. You obviously don't watch me. I'm Jocko, the Lumbee legend. Damn, Jocko. Well, right now, let me see how many people are right here. 130 people are seeing how foolish you are. And I'm keeping it respectful, but yeah, definitely, because now now you're the legend. Now you're ego. Now you're prideful. Okay, such an Indian, right? You're so prideful. You think you're so right. Right? Same people that told you these people are African, told you come from monkeys. Darwinism. Same people, right? So I guess you come from the Darwin theory too. All right. It don't matter if that's your family. You've been told the wrong history. You don't have the right context. You can't prove no African part. Tell me, be honest right now, Jock. Where do black people come from, Jack? All right. So now you with him, boom, huh? You with him? Okay. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this into a learning opportunity for you guys. All right? You are totally wrong, boom, and Jock. You cannot prove no angle. You cannot prove any of these people came. There's no ship. You got no ship. You got no primary source. You're probably spitting in a tube and listening to what other people told you about so-called black folks. And you believe it and you ate it up. So check this out. That's what we're going to do to you. We just timing you guys out. That means you guys just got to listen now. All right? We heard enough. We heard enough. I'm reading the primary sources right in front of you. Nowhere in here says African. Hey, Fly Mama, thank you. Fly Mama lived in Ecuador amongst the black indigenous folks over there, melanated folks, all kinds of melanated shades, all kinds, right? I know her story. She told me, and we did her genealogy. You guys think we just over here making stuff up, like you guys just talking out your ass without no sources. So she made a good point. She said there's a tribe in Ecuador called the Kumbi, and don't try to make them African either. We already debunked the out of Africa theories. If anybody can write those 2 points too, we already debunked the out of Africa theories, and we already exposed the false West Africa slave trade to the Americas. It has been falsely, hugely told wrong. Like it's a whole, you're missing a lot of context. You don't know what you're saying, and that's okay, but you got to be willing to empty your cup. And if you're too prideful to do that, you're in the wrong channel. Get out of here. I don't care if this is your family. A lot of the people that I know are also family, and they ain't having it with that African stuff. So you're disrespecting them. They know you're disrespecting them. I ain't gonna let y'all disrespect my boy Keith right here. All right? That's his family too. I'm literally showing you his tree. So be quiet. I am dealing with family. Be quiet. Listen. Fools love airing out opinions. Wise people listen. I did a prayer right when we began this video. I did a prayer. You weren't here most likely, so you didn't get the spirit. Don't come here with your hijacks, guys. I said this yesterday. You must have missed. These are people who probably got the video shared somewhere. No, it's good, Keith. I get it, Keith. Yeah, I'm going back to the presentation, but it's good. That way we address the foolishness right away. Anybody else got any opinions? Say it now. Forever hold your peace. They not Africans, okay? I'm showing you the whole thing right now. Nowhere here said Africans. Thank you. So Henry Berry comes from this line. They want to say, yeah, all right, let's go. So Henry Berry is the guy who started leading the robbers, right? So he was concerned that the depredations committed in the county of Robeson from their inception, while it is due to history to record that his other sons had no connection whatever with their four brothers engaged in robbing. Henry Berry Lowry, one of the younger brothers, assumed the command of the robber band and was styled chief. Two other members of the robber band, Calvin and Henderson Oxidine, all right, that's the other family, linearly descended from the Lowry's family on the mother's side. All right, so these are all the people involved. You guys get it? You guys can get the book. I found it. You guys can find it. Trust me. The robber gang, the Lowrys, the famous robber gang. Okay. Description of the Lowry robbers. So Henry Lowry was the leader of the band, is a son of Alan Lowry and a great grandson of James Lowry, from whom all the Lowrys in Roberson descend. He is a mixed blood. Okay. All the Lowrys. So again, James ain't from Angola. All right. James ain't from Angola. And the Kumbo isn't it. We hear the Angola story hundreds of times. Never know real sources. So he was just from all the Lowrys, right? All the Lowrys and Robeson, he is a mixed blood. Mixed blood, what's mixed? Strangely commingled, having curse in his veins, the blood of the Tuscarora Indians and the Cavalier blood of England. Cavalier. And I told you guys, England, they're trying to say this is English, right, in this book, but England, Cavalier to me is associated for French, for, to me. You guys going to see why I'm saying that. He made a handsome personal appearance when dressed up. The color of his skin is of mixed white and yellow, parting and a mixture resembling copper. Oh, resembling copper. Copper-colored tribes of America. The Indian color, however, still predominating. What is the Indian color? The darkness. All right. Scar, okay, blackish. Let's see. So that's him, right? You guys can read about him. I just want to show you something right here because we got a lot to read. Got a lot to read. Oh, my fault, my fault. Scuffletown. Okay, okay. So we're gonna read the story a little bit. You're gonna see that he was actually fighting for their survival. They wasn't just robbing. We're gonna see that. I just want to show you his other son, Tom. I think Tom. Okay, Tom. Thomas. Tom, right? Just like his ancestor, Tom. Thomas, Lowry, Tom. Another member of the outlaw gang. Outlaw gang. Now they're outlaw gangs, huh? Because they're fighting for their land. They're fighting for their survival, their status. So they're not disfranchised. That's literally what they're fighting for. So they wouldn't be disfranchised, reclassified. Literally, guys, taking their land taken. And a brother to Henry Berry and Steve Lower was Indian, gypsy looking. Wait, remember what we know about the original gypsies? So we got videos on all this. Not just videos, the videos have primary sources. Tom Lowry was of darker hue and exhibiting in his countenance more sneaking look than his brothers. Gypsy, huh? So by gypsy, you mean so-called black. You mean dark skin. By gypsy, which we know already, they were very swarthy, right? The original gypsy. Okay? Darker hue. Tom Lowry. Hey, anybody that just came in and you got a question right away, please watch from the beginning. Because literally that's what I'm doing. Please, thank you. If you're kind of lost and going off subject and stuff, please. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Again, that was this book. We might go back to it. We might go back to it. We might go back to it. We're going to read from this book as well, Free African Americans. Woo! So swarthy. He said he yellow. He said, what did he say? Yellow something, but then he said like copper. Copper, man. And then his other brother's even darker. Tom, right? Like a gypsy. All right. All right. So we got the Lowry family, right? But we ain't coming to this yet. We're going to go here real quick. What's this book right here? It says the Lowrys. The Lowrys. Robert and Mary Lowry and their children. 6 generations. That's what this book is right here, guys. Okay? The Lowrys again. Robert and Mary Lowry and their children. We reading primary sources. Pay close attention. Family traditions. the Huguenot. Uh-oh. Yeah. He said, bitch. Hold up, guys. You know, I gotta get something ready. Hold up. You guys ain't in a rush, right? All right. Because I gotta show this. You know, I gotta show this. I definitely gotta show this. So I'm gonna just get certain things ready, guys. Don't. All right, hold up. Failed. Why it failed, man? All right, hold up. It's acting up. It's okay. Open with preview. I'm just opening up some images, guys, real quick. Give me a second. Actually, yeah, give me a second. Hold up. All right. Oh, it's getting exciting. It's getting exciting. It's getting exciting. I mean, I don't have to go through the whole history, right? Here we go. This is what I wanted to have open. Okay. I knew I had it somewhere. I knew I had it somewhere. Okay. I got a lot on Huguenots. Huguenism is one of my expertise. Huguenotology is one of my expertise, guys. Huguenistic studies, get it? Huguenistic studies. Before we read about who the Lowrys really are, before we really read about the Lowrys, who they really are, want to remind you, you know, a couple things we've already gone over, right? So in the book, Jews and Muslims in British colonial America, remember? A genealogical history. A genealogical history. They want to try to Africanize everybody, right? They want to say everybody's from Cameroon, Angola, Ghana, all these places, right? It says around 400 Huguenots immigrated to New York, around 60, numbering among them were Francois Bouquet, right? All the Huguenots, right? Look what it says here. It says Augustus J was a very successful merchant from that crypto-Jewish stronghold, La Rochelle. La Rochelle is where all the Huguenots came from. A lot of them, right? Cryptos, Huguenots, right? French Huguenots were in contact with the Moriscos and plans against the House of Austria. Okay. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. Hold up. Also, this is the only one I got to show, really. I mean, I got mad videos on this, man. All right, this is for the newbies. This is for the newbies. They're going to get mad at this, too. They're going to get mad at me again. They're going to, oh, man. History of the conquest of Spain by the Arab Moors. The Arab Moors. I didn't notice that. The Arab Moors, yeah, the pure Arabs. The Almoravids are from Yemen. Their ancestry is from Yemen. The Almoravids' ancestry, the Sanjaya Empire and Confederacy are from Yemen. Yeah, pure Arabs. So-called Moor. So, hey, guys, if you have Huguenot, this is getting deep, right? Little by little, I'm gonna start breaking this to you. So you can start picturing what I'm trying to show you. And the patterns and migration of people, right? So it has been asserted that when the Moors were driven out, thousands took refuge in the south of France. Moors, they took refuge. Who was the first refugees? Huguenots, right? They took refuge in south of France, who afterwards, abhorring the Roman Catholic persecutions, became Huguenots. Became Huguenots, like how I used to say it, Huguenot. And that of these many emigrated at a later date, where? South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. South Carolina. Huguenots are a combination of Sephardic Jews and Moors. They're cryptos. Huguenots, right? Huguenots. That's what we're talking about. If you didn't know this, catch up on the videos. We got way more sources than this. So much more proof. So much more proof. Huguenots were descendants of Muslims in Europe. Huguenot history, description, fate in Europe, and their occupations and skills, etc., are so integrally related to Muslims that it is not far-fetched to investigate their being Muslims. Remember, it is well known that well before the fall of, blah, 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 blah. They ended up in South Carolina, right? Okay. I think we have context now. South Carolina. South Carolina. Where are we right now, guys? We're dealing with South Carolina, right? Lowry. He's a Lowry, right? We're talking about Huguenots. Lowry, the Huguenot, the Scot-Irish group of Lowry families in America, including our own family, trace their lineage back to the north of Ireland and have a widespread tradition that their remote ancestors were Huguenots. Body bag for the illusion. So what's a Huguenot again? What's a Huguenot? I just showed you. Let's not go backwards. I just showed you. Let's not go with conjectures and but. I'm showing you what the primary sources are telling you. All right, nobody wants to say Huguenots. So what are we talking about? Moors, Sephardic Jews. So the Lowrys are what? The Lowrys are what? French, right? They came from France, but they were originally Moors and Sephardic Jews who were being persecuted. You see the whole track migration? They became French, and then they became Irish, and then they became what? Americans, and now Lumbee, huh? Lumbee, huh? But there is Indian blood there. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is in all your genealogies, guys. I'm not saying the Huguenot specifically, but the way how it mixes. When I tell you guys, yeah, I know you're Indian, but how you get your last name? How do you know it wasn't a black European that brought it? I'm showing you the Lowrys, that name was brought by a black European, guys. That's what I'm trying to show you here. So-called black, Moorish, Sephardic Huguenots that were a couple generations already in Ireland. Remember, these people were being persecuted, the Huguenots, all over Europe by the Catholics. And vice versa, they persecuted the Catholics. Okay, do you guys understand right now? Let's take a big breath to absorb this large pill. If you weren't ready for this. I'm gonna breathe in. Breathe out. Okay? So again, there you go. We're dealing with black Irish too. So-called black, but they're really Huguenots in this case, right? They were Huguenots driven out of France. Driven out of France. During the religious wars and persecutions following the Protestant Reformation. What? The Catholics. The Catholics, just like they were doing to the Sephardic Jews and Moors, persecuting them the same way. These are the same people. A lot of the Protestants are your cryptos. A lot of your so-called Protestants or Christianity sects are ex-cryptos, ex-Moors, ex-Sephardic Jews, guys, that were actually against the Catholics. That's why they never joined the Catholic empire or religion, the whole idols and everything else, right? That's why you got your Christian churches now without idols, like the Catholics. You guys paying attention, right? This is real history, and I was just from helping. Look, this is what I do. I'm gonna help. All right, let's see if we can find the parents. Let's see what is the history of this name, of who brought it, and how, and maybe that can connect you to the right people and the right history, so you can know who you are. Okay. Another thing about Huguenots is we know they were very much, it was common for them to mix, amalgamate, assimilate, especially with American Indians. Y'all ready? I think they're ready now. If they're in my channel, then that means you're ready. If you're not ready, then go start from 8 years ago, like kindergarten. Go back to the journey. Take the journey. Take the journey. So the most authentic statement of this family tradition is in a letter from Reverend J.W.S. Lowry of the Canadian Presbyterian Church at Fitzroy, Ontario. From what you say of your forefathers, we are undoubtedly of the same stock. All right? That guy's telling him, yeah, the parishes of Killinchi, and Kilmore all border on each other and are all full of Lowrys. That's in Ireland, guys. Kilmore is my native place, and I have many relatives in Killylee and Killinchi. My father, William Lowry, was a merchant. Who's the merchants? There's a reason why I say that, so I can ingrain that into you. Every time we read the word merchant, you understand our past research. Who's the merchants? There were the Sephardic Jews and Moors. They were the ones, they were the merchants. They were the ones with the ships. They were the ones with the ports secure, the money, the trading, the commerce, the merchants. So look, it all comes, see how it keeps just corroborating our research. And for many years, an elder in the Church of Kilmore, and I was born and brought up in that congregation. My maternal grandfather, Reverend Joseph Lowry, was pastor in that parish over half a century. Our progenitors were French Huguenots, Protestant refugees who at the time of the massacre of St. Bartholomew in August 1572 fled to Great Britain and subsequently to the Emerald Isle. This is deep right here. So, see, this book thinks they're just Huguenots, right? That's where they left them, right? This book didn't go where the other book brought us, right? Let's go back. Before they were in France, right? Who were they? It has been asserted that when the Moors were driven out, thousands took refuge in France, right? And then they became known as Huguenots and ended up in South Carolina. You see, I'm showing you the history. See how it connects? But this book didn't go that far back, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of people are always missing context, think we're just making it up always. The name tradition, a second family tradition, is that our Huguenot ancestors at the time of the Reformation were living at Lowry or in the Lowry River settlement, the exact location being unknown. Our family name is most generally said to be derived from this place, whether it may have been from which our remote ancestors fled, seeking refuge in Scotland, where John Knox and the lords of the congregation had already established Presbyterianism, where the other crypto king are, where the other crypto folks are, and they had established the Presbyterianism and kicked out the Catholics, right? In Scotland, they had kicked out who? The Jacobites. Remember, this is all connects, and that's why when you get to the Americas, right? What happened to William? He got his arm cut off by a Tory, by one of the Jacobites. They were enemies. Don't matter if they were both black. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. It wasn't about color back then. Why? Oh, it had already established Presbyterian. They mean they kicked out the Jacobites, the Catholics. They kicked them out. They send them. That's why. Oh, so now we can go to Ireland. Now we can go to Scotland. All these crypto Jews, all these just like in Holland, just like they did in Holland. That was the epicenter, right? So-called Dutch. There was the New Jerusalem, right? Amsterdam. Literally, they called it New Jerusalem, the Sephardic Jews, people of color. Thank you, Princess, for pointing those points again. Wait, what's going on? Somebody? It comes with responsibility, yeah. But, listen, a lot of people here are very informed, guys. They've been following me for years. Years. All right. So you see, they get it after, you see how whole history, right? So all the Irish people, yo. All right. So we good with that, right? We good with that, right? We clear so far, guys? What's the main points so far? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I don't get lost. We're on 788. God dang. Okay. We're in the book Free African Americans. Free African Americans. What are the Lowrys? Ex-Sephardi Jews, ex-Moors, right? Black Irish. So, and then they're gonna mix with Indians who are also melanated, right? Who are also so-called dark skin or black or whatever you want to say, whatever you copper-colored tribes of America. So of course these people are gonna be called, right? African Americans, right? Because that's the hijack, modern hijack. A lot of people probably think the complexion, the dark complexion came only from the Indian side. And that's not true. That's what I'm trying to show you guys. A lot of times coming from your black European ancestors too. I'm not saying that's your only makeup, but I hope that you guys little by little start accepting and looking into how you got all your last names so you can understand a deeper part of you. And again, make sure you remember the points. So if you see anything that says Europe or white or anything, and those times, a lot of times they just mean Europe, that doesn't mean pale. And point two, being so-called black, right? Being described as black or Negro on a taxable document or whatever, or free colored, or being dark skinned does not mean African. Very important to remember when you're doing your genealogy. Free African Americans. Gosh, the hijack. Free what? Free people, man. Literally, stop calling them tags. Free people. Free people. All right, free people. Doesn't mean they got freed. These are free people, never slaves. Of North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina from the colonial period to about 1820. This is before 1820. Before slavery is even over. And this ended before slavery ended, supposedly, right? This is by Paul Hennig. This is volume 1 and volume 2. We're in volume 2. Okay? So who's in here? We got the Lowrys. Hold on, let me get it. Okay. The Lowry family. James Lowry, born, say, 1735, received a grant for land in Bladen County on October 27, 1767. Now, guys, this is where you got to understand another hijack I'm about to reveal to you. This is why I'm trying to tell you, you have to be able to research in many different ways with many different sources, right? A lot of the time in this book, yeah, it's listing free people of color, right? That were never slaves, but a lot of time they will mention a lot of Indians here, but sometimes they don't. They leave the Indian part out, right? They leave the Indian part out like they just did for James Lowry, right? They just left that out, right? I'm gonna go back to the other source we read earlier, right? How does it start? James Lowry, a tall, well-proportioned, fine-looking, respectable Indian man, Robeson County. An Indian. But guess what? Now, just like John and Boom earlier, somebody Africanized him. Somebody's calling him an African American. Where was the African? Where did you guys see any African? Hey, what's up, Wingo? Appreciate you, man. We got a lot of family here too. The chat. I hope you can check out the video from the beginning because I went over a lot of context. I really want you to get to know since you grew up with the Lowrys, so you can understand, right? So welcome. Hopefully you can watch from the beginning and that's when you can catch up at some point, so you can get all the context we've been going over. So guys, listen to what I'm trying to show you. So you might be able to find your families here. It might not say Indian. It might be trying to make them freed slaves or whatever. but a lot of them are Indians. If not, probably the majority are Indians or have Indian blood. Indian blood. Anyways, let's read. James Lowry born, say 1735, received a grant for land in Bladen County. It's the same one we're talking about that they call an Indian. They call an Indian over here. He's an Indian. The Lowry history, genealogy, Indian, Robeson County. But we're in the book, Free African Americans, supposedly, right? I know I'm repeating myself, guys, but I want to make this point clear. Okay, thank you. He received patents for more than 1,000 acres in land of Bladen County. We got all this already. He was taxable in Bladen County with his wife, 1768 to 1764. Look, they're all listed as mulattoes. They're all listed as mulattoes. Where, when we read about him, where did it say anything about him being African? So remember, mulatto is supposed to mean half black, half white, right? Right? Supposedly, right? We already debunked that, right? We already showed the I'm gonna redo that. I'm gonna read the whole mulatto chapter on Jack Force, the whole chapter, because I haven't read the whole chapter, just so we get context, right? Taxable on William Jones and mulatto. So they're telling you that this guy is being called mulatto. We already know he's Indian, but the Lowrys, again, are coming from where? Black Irish, Black Scottish, but they're Huguenots that are mixing with Indians. His mom, Sarah Kiersey, is where they're saying he got the Indian from, Tuscarora. Half-breed, half. Okay, so that's mulatto originally meant a mixture between two different nations, not two different colors. So it could be a black European and a black Indian. They mix, their kids are mulatto. Or literally they're just calling Indians that based on what they look like. Or based on the fact that they're known not to be from slaves or something like that. So many different reasons, but it doesn't mean black African with a white slave master, right? Like that's the hijack. So we know he's Indian, and you guys saw the other history. So him being called mulatto doesn't mean he has African blood. That's why I was saying I should have put mulatto in the point. I forgot to put that. That doesn't mean African. Because when it comes to this family, the dark complexion is coming from both the Europeans and the Indians. That's the hijack. That's your own hijacks. Yeah, that's your family, but you never got this deep. I'm not telling you, Wingo. There was some other brothers earlier that they were trying to Africanize everybody here. Okay? And they said they were family, so I had to like just time them out a little bit so they can just listen. Okay. So it says he had a slave named Jack. So he was a supposed slave owner, right? Is Jack a family member? Is Jack just an indentured servant? Is Jack a Lowry or a Protestant from Europe, a black, like, where's the context? Right? This is what everybody never asks. Nobody ever asks that. Is he another Indian from somewhere else? He's an indenture, you know? In 1779, he was taxable for 2 slaves, 400 acres, all right? So we're talking about black slave owners, so-called black slave. And in theory, this person would fit the description of a black slave owner when we go with the hijack way of thinking, right? But it is. It is. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, oh, you find a slave owner, well, it could just be a farmer. And he has employees and he has family members working. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they hired people, through indentures, contracts that had a time of expiration. That's why people were being freed with money and people were able to sue. Slaves are able to go to court and sue their masters. Like, you guys don't even know that. I mean, you guys know that, but, you know, the general public don't know that. Okay. So he sold more than 300 acres and so on and so on. You guys see, this is them listed, right? He got a lot of slaves. So it says he received a patent for 100 acres on Middle Swamp, 1784, and sold it 1785, he purchased 100 acres on the north side of Drowning Creek. 1786, April 1st, 1805, the Roberson County Court appointed him overseer of the road from his house to the house where Neil Bowie formerly lived, a position usually reserved for whites, so-called whites. See what they're trying to say? Oh, they made an exception this time because, you know, he's a mulatto, you know, he probably African a little. No, that's what they're trying to say in this book, Paul Hennig. That's so strange. That's usually for so-called whites. What whites? What whites? That's a crayon color. Show me who you're talking about. Prove to me they're pale skin. Hey, we're talking about status here, guys, when they're saying whites. And in this case, he's an Indian. They mean, oh, usually not Indians. Or they mean Europeans or people who are part of the corporation already. He was head of the Robeson County household of 6 other free and 3 slaves in 1790, and 6 other and 6 slaves in 1800. By his 13 March 1810, Robeson County, he left land and 9 slaves to his wife, not named, and his children. His wife was most likely Celia Lowry, who was appointed administratrix of his estate by the Robeson County Court 26. Okay, so then these are the kids. Remember, we read all this. So we got Thomas, right? Remember, he was like dark like a gypsy. He had a dark hue, man, like a gypsy, man. Remember? Oh, it makes sense now. We're dealing supposedly with so-called African Americans, right? You're admitting these are black folks, huh? Isn't that what they call black folks? African Americans? Yes or no? Yo, Cedric, welcome, man. I'm glad you're learning, man. This is what I'm trying to tell you, man. There's a lot of context here, man. I'm glad you're back, man. And I hope you watch from the beginning, okay? You know, when you can. You don't have to do it now. But, hey, purchase land in Robinson by deeds proved, right? So on and so on. That's his son, right? Right? Back swamp. Back swamp. That's where... Hold on. That's where his family's at. Like, literally, guys. Like, he got family in Back Swamp, Robinson County. Like, literally. Let me see if I can get one of them. I know I saw it. We saw it, right, Keith? I know I saw it. Let me see. Back Swamp. I know I saw it. I know I saw it. Well, anyways, it's somewhere in there. His people are in Black Swamp. Okay, this is why I'm trying to. I told Keith, you got enough. You got enough to go to the Lumbee and say, hey, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, it's been a while since I left y'all with a dope beat. Yeah, that's how you got to do it, Keith. Burnt swamp. Okay, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it, man. The swamp, the moors, right? Swamp is a moor. Another definition for swamp is moor. If you guys didn't know that, another definition for moor is swamp or wasteland. A lot of people who lived in swamps were called moors. You guys remember that, right? A lot of people who lived in swamps, they were referred to as moors, or people who dwelled in the moors, the marshlands. Huh. So we got some other so-called moors, more and more war, right? Moors living in swamps. There you go. Why did they have to live in swamps? Because they were pushed to these corners because of colonization. Yeah, definitely link up. Link up. You guys gotta link up. All right. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go back. My fault, guys. I get lost and stuff. All right. Here we go. Roberson County, Back Swamp, all that. All the swamps. It's all his family right here. This is all Keith's family right here. I know it. And as a genealogist, any genealogist can see what I see. Any genealogist, like if the Lumbee people do the genealogy and verify what I'm showing here, even in this video, they're like, damn, yeah, he is family. He does have a point. We cannot conjecture and say he's not. There's more proof that he is. Most likely, logically, descent from these same Lowrys, who are also being described as mulattoes and blacks and stuff. So you cannot say that Thomas in 1876, oh, well, that's probably a descendant of a slave that mixed with the Lowry. No, because the original progenitor, You guys understanding what I'm telling you? Was so-called black, Indian, Huguenot. Yeah. Yeah, it gets exciting when you start doing real history and proving the research when you do people's genealogy. Yeah, April 18. So check this out. All right, this is a good one. So. All right. Hold on. Sorry, guys. So we did Thomas. These are the original kids. You know, you guys see the info. You guys can pause it, take a screenshot if you like. This is the other son, William, right? He's also blading. He's listed with 9 free colored. They listed what? With free colored. This is the progenitors of the Lowrys, guys. That are coming from Scotland. They're coming from Ireland. When did, what point did they mix with any Africans? This is what I'm trying to explain to you. At what point did they mix with any Africans? Prove that part to me. All you, Boom and John from earlier that I had to time out. Prove that part. Eesh. Then we got James, right? And the Locklears, right? Coming together. Free colored again. Come on, man. They had illegitimate. Look, legitimate and illegitimate. This is what I want to talk. Okay, great. A lot of the times, oh, but I saw he had Negroes on his will and he gave it to his daughter. That's why I thought he was white. Guys, you guys don't understand. Like, a lot of the times, those are the illegitimate children that they're giving to their own siblings, half siblings. They're passing them down to their daughter because that's their kids. They don't want them to be sold away or taken by the state or something like that. You guys understand? There's a lot of context missing when you try to come to me and but I saw the will, Kurimeo. All right, but prove to me that that person being called Negro is from Africa. Because we got a couple points here, guys. Can we remind people of the points in the chat, please? Or just look at the pinned message. Negro does not automatically mean from Africa. And we know and have shown dozens, hundreds, thousands of cases of American Indians being reclassified as Negroes and free people of color. So get out of here with your hijacks. We're done with all that. I'm trying to help y'all evolve on a different level. If you care, right? And this is not forced on anybody. All Alan Lowry, right? He had also a son named Tom. And I think the Alan Lowry is where we get Henry. Yep, Henry Berry, right? The famous gang, the Lowry gang, right? So check it out. It says here, his son, Henry Berry Lowry, Lady Ben and his relatives, they called them a gang. They called them a bandits. They said they a gang. They say you a gang. They say when they go to your hood and you're chilling with your family in a cookout and you in the front of the house and the police roll by, they say, look at that gang. Look at that gang. Look at these outlaws. But in actuality, it was a band of your relatives and your friends. You're just chilling with your family and your friends. That's all. You ain't doing nothing. Ain't no gang. Well, you know, some of you are, but well, a lot of you are, but it's not the case. It's not the general case. Is what I'm trying to say, right? They do the same thing today. They try to make it a negative. They try to put a negative stigma on them. Why? Because they were kicking ass. They were kicking ass as the settlers. They didn't like them disfranchising their people, reclassifying their people, taking their land. They didn't like that. He fought back. Henry was tired of that. So he said his family and his friends like, yo, let's stand up for ourselves. We're talking about some rebel Indians here, right? They're calling free African Americans in this book. They're calling free African Americans. But only thing we can find is Indians and Huguenot and Black Irish. That's all we can find. Huguenot and Indians. Where's the Africans? So he got his friends. They killed or drove from the country all those responsible for the murders. Oh, you see, I didn't read this. So they killed. So look at this. So he. All right, I get it. I didn't read this. So yeah. William Lowry transferred land to him in deeds province. It says he and his son William, suspected of supporting the Union, listen, were murdered by the white home guard, so-called white, right? The European home guard near the end of the Civil War. So this is what caused them to retaliate and become so-called outlaws. They took vengeance for what they did to their family members, and what they were doing. Literally, it's not just this. Trust me, I read it. They were being of their oppression. Literally, it says they were being oppressed, disfranchised. According to reporter Alfred Townsend, Allen married Mary Combs. Combs or Kumbo, huh? It's the same area, so they're like, wait, if it's Combs, it's probably Kumbo. They know it is Kumbo. So Combs, a lot of Combs might go back to Kumbo, right? And was the father of Patrick Purdy, Andrew Sinclair, William, Thomas, Stephen, Calvin, Henry, Barry, Mary, Townsend, all right. So I know the brothers earlier want to say, oh, we get the black from the Kumbo, but where did the Lorries get the black then from? Because they're listed here, right? But you don't do this kind of research. You happy being from Angola. That's your belief. And so you want to apply that to your own people. And they would turn from their grave, man, if you knew they were doing that, man. If they only knew you were doing that to them. That's how deep it is, man. I'm sorry to have gotten so deep like that. And you may feel disrespected, but I think I speak for Keith right here. I think I'm hopefully like Keith. Keith knows his people are not from Africa. Yeah, Sean Combs did it. Yeah, but Combs, I verified it earlier. I got the genealogy, right? I did Diddy's genealogy, right? I have a video. So I verified his Combs because I was like, hey, wait a minute. So I went and Diddy's Combs line is from Maryland. Like 1800s, kind of the same. And I found slave owners and all that, right? Again, we got to have context though, right? But his last, Alexander Combs from Maryland, was a so-called slave owner, but he's a black man. So Henry Berry, born about 1846, described a Robeson County resident. So this is a junior, I guess. Oh no, this is Henry Berry, yeah. Describing Robeson County residents to a reporter for the New York Herald as a mixed Tuscarora mulatto and white blood. You see the hijack? All right, you guys point out the hijack? So Tuscarora, we know what that means, right? Indian, right? Mulatto, what does that mean? Where's the African, right? And white blood, what white blood? What white blood if he's a Lowry, who you literally listing here, right? And we already read the book that these people are dark complexion, like a gypsy. Right? Wait, what happened? Okay. So they mean European and Indian. European and Indian. Mulatto gets crossed out. Mulatto gets crossed out, guys. Cancel the hijack and keep what's real. They mean European blood and Indian. All right? That is your general makeup. A lot of you might lean more to Indian, and awesome for you. And a lot of you might lean more towards the black European, but you still have Indian. And that's okay. Because you never know if those Europeans anciently connect to America. These are indigenous people of Europe I'm talking about. A lot of them, right? This is why it's important to understand the true old world and real history. So he was 26 years of age at that time, 5 feet 9 inches. He's straight black hair like an Indian. We're talking about free African Americans, right? Right? We're talking about free African Americans, right? Why they even being labeled African American? Like, you just told us, come on now. A dark goatee, eyes of a grayish hazel. That's deep right there. His forehead is good, and his face and expression refined remarkably. So, considering his mixed race, want of education, and long career of lawlessness, the color of his skin is of whitish yellow sort with an admixture of copper. There being no Negro blood in it except that of far remote generation of mulatto, and the Indian still apparent, one of the handsomest mulattoes you ever saw. All right, guys, we gotta have context. Being no Negro mean, yeah, we didn't find no African. We didn't find no African, except something in some far remote generation. What? Who? 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 What Negroes? Tell me, show me the Negroes, so-called Negro. So who are they then? You got them listed in free African. They're not Negroes? Okay. You guys don't understand the hijacks I'm trying to point out and how people don't realize these things, right? They don't see this. I see this. When I research, I'm like, whoa, you literally just making shit up. Mr. Paul Hennick, you literally just made that up. All right. Well, anyways, then it goes to the Lugro family, right? Okay. We got this. We got this. Oh, I found this. This was like supposedly one of Henry Berry's wives. You see that? Interesting. It's hard to tell, right? It's kind of hard to tell, but supposedly that's one of his wives. I was just looking at. All right. Now we're gonna get to a good part. Y'all ready for the hijack? Some more hijack. Henry Berry, huh? Remember, he's in Free African Americans, right? Henry Berry, right? Again, where book are we in? Free African Americans, right? We're talking about swarthy people. We're talking about people that people would say, yeah, he's mixed. He has some black in him, right? So-called black, right? With their hijack perspectives, right? He's in here, guys. I'm trying to show you. He's in here, right? Let's go to the Wikipedia real quick. Henry Berry Lowry. This part is this is the silliest part, and I bet you Boom and John believe this is the real picture. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna break it down for you. All right. I'm gonna break it down for you. It says here, Henry Berry Lowry was an American outlaw of the Tuscarora, Lumbee, and Scottish descent. Okay. So where's the African? What the hell is going on in here? I'm so confused. Hold up. You're telling me this is Henry Berry Lowry? Hold up. And he's in the Free African American, right? Dark hue, he's copper, right? Copper. His brother is black, literally, right? Like his uncles, all his people are listed as mulattoes, dark, the shades are all different, just like in your family. He might be lighter than the rest of them, but not like this. Now, you guys gotta be real. You gotta take off that veil from your, take it off your eyes right now. Take out the veil, take off the veil, dodge the hijack, break the spell. Don't be colorblind, don't be naive. Okay, don't be naive. Yeah, of course, right here, you're not gonna say African, right? Because look what this guy looks like. Would you classify this as a Negro? So first of all, let me just show you something. This portrait, read right here. You guys see that? Let me put it in big. This portrait is widely identified as one of Lowry, though some persons, including his descendants, believe it portrays a different person. Body bag for the illusion. Yo, shout out to Drop, man. Con Drop. Shout out to Con Drop. All right. Do you guys understand what I'm showing you right here? So his descendants, some, which some? The ones that actually know? You mean the ones that actually know believe it portrays a different person? They had to include the truth, right? Dodge the hijack. Yeah, they had to, right? But again, Indians, free African Americans, and they want to show us this Photoshop. Look at this image, guys. That's a drawing. Look at the hair. Look at that. It's perfect. Look at that. What the? Look at his beard. What? You believe this? Boom. You believe this, huh? John Locke. You believed this, right? You thought this was your ancestor. All right. You believed it, right? This is deep, guys. We're going to go real quick to check it out. Check it out, guys. Where are we? Where are we? Let's get some context here. Today's Africana Almanac. We're in the African American Registry. African American about us. Let's see. About us. Okay, they don't tell you what they're for, but literally, this is about so-called African Americans. They're registering historic, everything to deal with so-called Black Americans, right? So-called Black, right? And look who they got here. Henry Lowry Lumbee. And that's what a Lumbee Indian, are you telling me this is what an Indian and an African American look like? Is that what you seriously going with right now? Is that your final answer? Are you really telling me that this guy who is Indian and so-called African American / Tuscarora Huguenot, the real, right? Eastern Sioux Huguenot. You telling me that's what he looked like? That's an Indian and an African American? The birth of Henry Lowry is celebrated on this date. He was a Lumbee Native American outlaw. Oh. It gets really crazy, guys. They got fake pictures everywhere of this guy. And you know what's sad about it, guys? You know what's really, like, serious, guys? Come on. African American race, Indian? Wouldn't he look at least a little less like, dang, the typical European man? I don't know. Like what we assume, right? European, because this is, remember, Black Europeans, right? They didn't even look like this. The Europeans, many were so-called Black. Who, what, baby? Who? Hey, whose incubator baby is this? What the? Get your incubator ass out of here, man. What the? Get your incubator ass out of here, man. What the hell? Henry Lowry, you mean the one that was fighting for his people? You mean the Indian who gathered his family, was fighting for his people? All melanated folks. That's who you talking about? Shame on this guy right here. Why am I saying that? He might feel disrespected. He's from the Lumbee tribe. And I saw his family. I went to his Facebook. Let me show you real quick. Look, bro, if you're a good person, this is not to, I'm not, you know what? I apologize if I came too strong right now. Right? That's him right here, right? He is an author, right? He's in the Lumbee tribe, right? Look at his guy, he got a little curly. Hey man, you mixing with, oh yeah, definitely. All right, I got you. Anyways, he is the author of this book. I'm gonna show you guys. He is the author of these books, right? This one is we're trying to get 7 generations. You can buy for $14. This looks, that image, right? I'm gonna show you another image. That's black folks on that cover. I'm gonna show you. But this one, look what it says on the left. Direct descendants of Henry Berry Lowry. That's not even the real picture, and he put it on the cover. He put it on the cover. Yo, why you do that, bro? Hey, with all respect, bro, you know, why you do that, man? Why you put that fake picture in the cover? Why you put that fake picture in the cover? Why you put that fake picture on the cover, huh? You guys think I'm kidding, right? Hold up. So, Kevin Ray, I'm devoted member of the Lumbee tribe who has spent over a decade researching and preserving Lumbee history. Oh, would you accept Thomas as your brother? Thomas Lowry? I'm sorry, Keith. Keith, right now, he's watching right now. He followed you. He might contact you. Are you gonna accept him in the tribe? He got all the paperwork. You know that all the Lumbees and Roberson descend from these same people that you descend from, right? So he has as much claim as you do, right? And he don't look, and that's not his ancestor. That's not his ancestor. All right, Kelvin, I hope you have a real good heart, and I hope you see what we're trying to say, man. And if you didn't know, you didn't know. But you don't know how much damage that does. You don't understand how much damage that does. Hold on, I wanna go to the book. Hold on. I just brought it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Direct descendants of Henry Berry Lowry, right? Free African American, Swarthy, Copper, Mulatto, Free Negro, Free Colored. That's what he's being called, right? But guess what? This portrait, many of his descendants know that this is a different person. This is probably a drawing. This is probably one of those Photoshop 1800 Photoshops like they did with Lincoln. Attack of the Body Snatchers, man. Nah, he's not in the chat. Obviously, he don't watch me, man. Hey, Keith, you know you don't watch me, man. All right, so, but look what he did. This is not even a real picture, guys. You think this is an African American right here? If you think that, man, you're blind, man. All right, whatever. Anyways, well, cool. You believe that? Okay. Cool. Good for you. But you shouldn't have put this image on the cover, because what happens, guys? Now, let's say black folks, they reach Henry Berry Lowry, right? They're like, oh, that's my ancestor, like what Boom said earlier that I had to time out. He said, that's my ancestor. He probably believed that's what he looks like. Or if you know that's hot, like some people might not know anything about what we study, guys, and they find this book and they see that right on the cover. What do you think is gonna happen? They're gonna say, oh, that ain't my people. That ain't my people. That ain't my people. That's a white man. Oh, maybe that's the slave owner. Maybe that's the slave owner that got my family. Maybe that was the first slave owner. You see, right away, that's why he put it in the cover. That's why you put it in the cover, to scare all the black folks away, huh? To scare all the black folks away, huh? Is that why you put it in the cover? I don't know. I don't know what else to assume. I don't know what else, because I did this with this was all today. I literally just went live after the genealogy. You know, I got a little ready. I ate dinner and all that, but I didn't take days to research this. Please show me the origin of this picture and tell me who painted it, what year, and let's find the original. And that would debunk everything, right? That would prove me wrong. Wouldn't that prove us wrong, guys? That's not the slave master, Cedric. You're not understanding, bro. Cedric, don't tell me you're not understanding what I'm showing you. I'm showing you that that's a whitewashed, made-up image. It's not real. That's not him, bro. Believe the family descendants believe it portrays a different person. How is this an African American Indian? Come on, man. Break the spell. Take the veil off. Don't be blind. Yes, Rasputin right here. You're right. But you got to pay attention to what I'm saying, Cedric. Do you understand what I'm trying to? I'm showing you that in our history, they have reclassified people. They have done paper genocide and they have whitewashed people. And so when you guys reach these people and this image comes up on your ancestry or in a book, you're like, oh, that's not my people. That's not my people, man. Because you think that's what he looks like, and that's not what he looks like, guys. So I just wanted to make that clear about Henry. I just wanted to make that clear about Henry, who played a significant role in the history of Robeson County. Talking about Indians and Huguenots. We're talking about melanated folks all the way. Whatever shade, there's many shades. Now we're gonna see some hijack. Check it out. This is a blog from 2002, right? Linda Harris, shame on you. Your racism, prejudice, and you are condoning, you are practicing paper genocide. Yeah, I'll say it like that. Why am I saying that? Let's read what she got to say. In 2002. She said, this Native American influence has been exaggerated. Wait, page 22 on Paul Hennick's book? Where you see that? This is supposedly from Paul Hennick, right? Where did I find that? Anyways, Paul Hennick was like that. That's why I said the free African American, a lot of these people are Indian and he's trying to Africanize them. He just, get what I'm saying? The ones that he couldn't hide the Indian part, he listed. Yeah, he's listed as an Indian, mulatto. His mom was known to be an Indian, blah, blah, blah. But most of the people here, he's trying to Africanize. Even though they're free people. free colored people. And where was I? Okay. So supposedly she said, Paul Hennig, and if she believes it, right, this Native American influence has been exaggerated by some African Americans. Oh, what? Which one? The Haliwa Saponi in Halifax County claim to be Native Americans. They claim. You see how rude this guy is? They don't claim. They have the blood and the paperwork. They have the paperwork and the blood to prove it. And the Lumbees in Roberson County actually applied to the Federal Indian Claims Commission for benefits. Yeah, because they're Indians. However, the people of color in these areas were African American. Let's go with all points. Let's go back to the points, guys. Point 1, all Europeans were not pale skinned. Point 2, being so-called black, Negro, free colored, mulatto, African American, dark skin does not mean African. So what that they were people of color? How many thousands of times did we prove that Indians got reclassified as people of color? So right away, your whole conjecture is debunked. This is valueless. This means shit. Paul Hennig or Linda? Want to blame Paul? All right, let's blame Paul. Linda. You should know better, Linda. Harris, Catawba. I know the Harrises. Yeah, Eastern Sioux. Yeah, Lumbee. Yeah, a lot of them became Lumbee. He said they couldn't be Indians because they're people of color. You know, these are African Americans, as shown by their genealogies. Where in their genealogy did we find any African? Oh yeah, we definitely found Americans. You guys understanding what I'm showing you today, right? As shown by their genealogy, this has also been confirmed by genetic testing of their blood. Now they're talking about DNA fake test. DNA fake test. So check it out. I just caught her. I just caught her. I don't think in Paul Hennig's time they were doing DNA tests. Let me see. Oh yeah, 2005. Well, this is a newer version. These are older. These are kind of older. Anyways, maybe. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, people were spitting on a tube already. Okay. People spitting on a tube.
And then they get a mail say, hey, you Ghana. Oh, we made a mistake. You're actually from Sierra Leone. Oh, actually, after further testing, you're from Nigeria. Okay. So you're basing this on DNA, huh? And because they're dark skinned. That's your whole proof. That's their whole proof of why they don't want the Lumbees or these black Indians to be federally recognized, because you are racist, discriminatory, you're a supporter of paper genocide. It says 50 families of mixed crew of lawless people possessed the lands without patent or paying quit rents, shot a surveyor for coming to view vacant lands being enclosed in great swamps. So look how the side, look at this. This is how conquistadors and colonialists talk. This is how the mind of a hijack right here. Remember why they started killing people? Because they killed their 2 family members before that, and they took revenge. So they say, okay, next time anybody comes up in here, we're murdering them. So when the surveyor got there, yeah, they shot him. He wasn't no innocent. They ain't innocent. He says no Indians in the country. No Indians, huh? He said that, right? Because they're what? Because he sees people of color. They ain't Indians. Paper genocide. Most of the Lumbee families listed in 1790 and 1800 Roberson County census as other free are traced in this history. Look at this. So they're also doing this to all these families. Pay attention. They're snitching on themselves on this part. They also conducting paper genocide and reclassifying the following families. Listen to this. It says in the 1790 and 1800 Roberson County census, other free are traced in this history, meaning in his book, back to persons referred to as Negroes in Virginia. Okay, let's go back to the points. Point number 2, being so-called black, Negro, free colored, dark skinned, African does not mean African. We have shown thousands of examples of Indians being reclassified as Negroes or being called or referred to as Negroes, and also black Europeans. I'm going to add that. That doesn't mean African. So what? These are the Carters, but they snitching on themselves here. Look, listen, guys. Indians here and black Europeans. Carters, Chavis. I know a lot of Chavis Indians. He's trying to say they're Negroes. Like, look how disrespectful. All you Chavis out there that know you're Indians, right? Shout out to Anu. Anu, look what they're trying to do to your family, man. Anu did the genealogy for the Catawba tribe for 15 years. Anu, he's like a genealogy expert when it comes to the Eastern Siouan people and many other tribes. Anu is a Chavis, and he knows he knows these are Indians, and his people were colored and all kinds of different shades. He knows that. Just because they've been referred to Negro don't mean nothing. What are you trying to say? So now they can't be Indians because they're being called Negro. You see how it works? Problem, reaction, solution. Let's create the problem. What's the problem? Well, let's start calling them Negroes. Okay, reaction. Oh no, these ain't Indians. These are Negroes. Solution, African Americans. Nope, they don't get the land. Nope, that's not them. Disfranchised. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Money. That's what I'm saying, Chaves. That's what I'm saying, money. You know what I'm talking about. This is your family. I know the Stewarts, the Robertsons, all these, right? Catawbas, Saponis, Haliwas. The ancestor of one of the better known families of the so-called Lumbee Indians of Roberson County, James Lowry, owned over 1,000 acres of land and 9 slaves. So she's literally trying to make him, or Paul or her trying to make him a white guy, a white slave owner, right? But we already got the drop, man. James Lowry, a tall, well-proportioned, fine-looking, respectable Indian. Yeah, he had a farm and he had workers. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Your whole concept of slavery is also a hijack. In 1895, the older, look, white residents of Roberson County describe him as a well-proportioned, fine-looking, respectable mulatto. How do you know they're white? First of all, what other residents? Give me the names and show me, prove to me they're pale skin. Because I know you're talking about synapse. So, James, huh? So, you're admitting there's black slave owners. Characterized by elegance and refinement of manners, tall and commanding in person, appearance urban, courtly and gentle. Come on, man. It says the Lowry Indian roots were explained as resulting from Jane Lowry's marriage. Listen to this. This is the hijack of hijacks, and I'm going to follow up on this. This is the person. This is where they're trying to get all the African from. Pay attention, guys. The Lowry Indian roots were explained as resulting from Jane Lowry's marriage with Sarah Kersey, a half-breed Tuscarora Indian, and the marriage of his son William and Betty Locklear, another half-breed Tuscarora. This is disrespectful, right? But anyways, however, Sarah Kersey was the descendant of Peter Kersey, a Negro taxable. And again, Negro don't mean African. And again, Negro don't mean African. Oh, and I want to see, okay, so what's Peter Kersey's story? Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on that. All right, guys. I did a poll right now. I spelled the last name wrong, but I did a poll. It's in the live chat. I said, do you want me to prove Peter Kersey is not African? Let's take a poll if I should do the video. Listen, guys, I'm so sure of my research every time, because of the way I conduct my research and the sources we've gone over in the last 8 years, right? I'm so sure that they adding the hijack to him just like they doing to all these Lorries and all these people here. I guarantee it. Now I understand why they calling Sarah a half-breed and why they're so okay with trying to call these people colored folks without trying to mention how are they colored, because now they're trying to say Sarah's dad is a Negro. But when we go to the book, right, it says that James' mom, Sarah, nicknamed Sally, was a half-breed Tuscarora Indian woman. And from this couple, where does it say Negro? Where does it say Negro? From this couple, all the Lowrys and Robeson trace back their origin. Where does it say Negro? So in this book, in reality, guys, when they're saying half-breed here, they mean European and Indian. They don't mean Negro. This is a book from 1875. And we're supposedly reading a book from 2005 right now with this, supposedly, right? Or this is her opinion. This is Linda's opinion. She's basing it off supposed taxable record that lists him as a Negro. So what? Indians and Black Europeans were listed as Negroes. Okay. So you guys see where they're getting the high. I want to show you all the hijacks so you can understand this is the exact same thing that is happening with your ancestors. In different forms a lot of the time, because, you know, it's not all the same kind of ethnicity and people or regions, but in general, it's kind of the same things going on in your family. They're doing this. It's paper genocide, reclassifying, you're giving you false history based on white Europeans and Black Africans. That's it. That's what they base your history off. Okay? So, you know, hijack city, man. Hijack city when, look what it says here. When Henry Berry, right? That fake picture of him, right? They say he looked like a white man. It says, Check it out. Watch this. Watch this. Where did I see it? Where did I see it? Okay. The reprisals of Henry Berry Lowry and his band of banditti. Literally, we just read a book recently where they were calling the Indians banditti. They were calling the Indians banditti against those elites. Lowry War, the Lowry War, right? And Roberson County. The Lowry gang, led by Henry Berry Lowry, engages in many robberies and murders, fighting against both the Confederate Home Guard and who? And who? The Ku Klux Klan, huh? So, so you're telling me that this white guy? Oh, come on, I gotta bring it up again. You're telling me that this white guy? Hold on. That you showing me in this picture where he is fighting the Ku Klux Klan. He's fighting the Ku Klux Klan. That's so funny. That's so funny. We're dealing with black folks here, guys, and they're trying to whitewash them because they're too prominent. Their history is too prominent. All right. So, you know, we cancel out all this. All this. This is all hijack city. Get that image out the cover, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Kelvin, come on, man. I hope you're a good person, man, and you fix that. Make a new edition. Get that image off, man. And tell people you messed up. The Kumbos as Lumbee Indians. The Kumbos. I think I'm gonna have to do a video on the Kumbo just to prove these guys wrong. I'm definitely probably gonna do that. Let me see who's voting. Hold on. How many people are voting? I only see 100%. Are y'all voting? Oh, we got 36 votes. We only got 36 votes. Come on, man. I know there's more than 36 of you watching. I guess you guys don't care. I won't do the video then. I won't do the video then. The Lumbee Indians. Oh, hold on. I got some other stuff here. Hold on. Real quick. We're in the book Living Indian Histories. Lumbee and Tuscarora people in North Carolina. And try to go to a specific part of the book here. Okay. I mean, this whole chapter is pretty good. This whole chapter is pretty good, actually. Because it drops there's a lot of drop in it. A couple hijacks, but as I was reading it little by little. Hold on, guys. Remember, we're live, so I didn't expect to even last this long. I didn't even expect I was gonna do a video like this because this is straight from helping somebody's genealogy earlier. And I said, I gotta do the video because if not, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna it's fresh on my mind and I'm gonna just do it because I had all the tabs up already. Okay. I am a native of Robeson County. I was born 21 miles. Okay. Indian characteristics than any of the rest of that population, huh? It says here. Hold on. That's interesting. I haven't read any of this, guys, because this is not the page I want to show you, but I want to make sure I don't skip anything. So this is a question answer. What are they? Are they Negroes? Ooh, man. Is he a Negro or is he an Indian? I'm confused. Look, people voted no. Okay. They don't, that's, you know who's voted no, right? That's the people who wants them to remain Africans. No, don't do it, Kurimeo. You're gonna break my heart. No, man, don't debunk that, man. Please let me hold on to the little fantasy I got, man. Just let me hold on to the little fantasy I got, man. No, don't do the video. That's funny. I didn't honestly expect people to say no. Maybe somebody's doing just a troll, but even way, that trolling nature, it's the same hijack, same kind of people. Yeah, it's the same kind of people. Whoever said no, yeah, same kind of people. Well, sir, I decided to tell you the truth as near as I can, but I do not know what they are. Now, that's the most best answer right there. That's the best. I don't know what they are, these lorries, man. or these Indians from Robeson County, right? I think they're a mixture of Spanish, Portuguese, Sephardic Jew, right? And Indian. So where's the black? Where is the African? Why is he calling them neat? Why are they so confused? Listen, guys, they're so dark skinned. These are black, literally black folks, right? Literally black folks, right? And the guy's like, well, honestly, I don't really know. They're like a mixture of Spanish, Portuguese, and Indian, from what I know. About half of them have straight black hair, and many of the characters of the Cherokee Indians in our state, so-called Cherokee, as they amalgamate and mix hair, become okay. So interesting, right? So you think they are mixed Negroes and Indians? I think they are mixed Portuguese, Spaniards, and Indians. Body bag. Come on now, man. All right, that's it, man. That's it. That's it. That's why you gotta read. That's why you gotta read. That's why you gotta read. Where's the African? Where's the African? Hey, Tana, they literally said it's African earlier. Some guy, he said this is his family. I had to put him in timeout. He said, no, that name's from Angola. Kumbo, Kumbo, Kumbo. I'm like, man, all right, get your white, hairy, incubator ass, man. Come on. They're literally telling you here. These are from primary sources. They're doing an interview from those times. I mean, to class Spaniards and Portuguese as one class and the Indians as another. Literally, okay, Spanish and Sephardic, more, okay, I get it. I get it. I do not think that in the class of population there's much Negro blood at all. They mean African, but they're calling them Negroes. Why are they even asking that? Why are they even asking that? They don't look like so-called Negroes. Negros. Why would they be even talking about this? I know you're more logical than that. I know you guys are more logical, all you Pan-Africans. I know you I mean you try to tell us you're very smart. So I'm hoping you are. I'm hoping you are. About half of the colored population that I have attempted to describe all have always been free. They've always been free. Man, this is mad drop. Man, come on now. I didn't even know I was going to read this. I feel like throwing my phone on the computer, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You said, where did the Sephardi Jews? That's, look, I like the questions. Adrian, thank you. Welcome to my channel. There's a very complex answer. I would definitely recommend you catch up on my videos. Just put Sephardi Jews, Kurimeo, or just go through my playlist. But they're originally Portuguese and Spanish. These are colored folks. These are melanated. We prove it with the primary sources. These people were described as black folks, the Sephardic Jews from Spain and Portugal. It's not the same as a modern day Ashkenazi Israeli citizen of the state of Israel. Very different things. Very different things, right? And these people were, a lot of your original colonists in the Caribbean and in the colonies, and they're your ancestors. A lot of them were cryptos, meaning they were secret Jews or secret Muslims. They had become new Christians or conversos. They had converted to Christianity, and they were referred to as cryptos, just like we learned today about the Lowrys. They were really, they're coming from Ireland, but they were actually crypto Muslims. They were Huguenots who are, again, Moors, right? Moors and Sephardi Jews who had fled Spain and Portugal and settled in southern France. Yeah, don't worry, I get you. Sometimes I just be like, because you don't understand how many videos we got, so much context. So I will really, really, really hope you can try to do that so you can get the context. And maybe you have family. Maybe some of these are your ancestors. But what we're reading now is what many people encounter when they're doing their genealogy. They find out this is the same story in their family. Their peoples has always been free. They are listed as colored folks. So where is the African? Where's the African slaves? Never. right? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So I was born among them, she says, and I reckon I know them perfectly well. Okay? Body bag, right there. That's it. So who we talking to? One of their own. We not Africans. I was, okay? I bet you the person answering, if you look and you probably classify him as African American. He's telling you, we not Africans. If anything, we might be Portuguese or Spaniards and Indians. But we've always been free. I was born amongst them, and I reckon I know them very perfectly well. They are a trifling, lazy, thievish, and indolent population. They talking about the Lowrys of the gang, right? They are called mulattoes. They are called mulattoes. They are called. That is the name they are known by, as contradistinguished from Negroes. There's a family of them by the name Lowry that seems to have more Indian. The Lowrys have what? More Indian characteristics than any of the rest of that population. So real quick, let's go back. The hijack is real. The hijack is real. So you're telling me that this Henry Berry Lowry, who's supposed to be Henry, who's supposed to have the most Indian characteristics of all the colored folks there, that's him. You're telling me that's him, right? You're telling me this is him, right? You guys see how hijacked this is? You see why a lot of his descendants, let me go back, why a lot of his descendants believe it portrays a different person. He's listed in the Free African Americans of North Carolina. Does that look like an African American to you? Let's go back. The Lowrys have more Indian characteristics than any of the rest of that population, okay? That's not him, period. Period. You have a reference now to the Lowry family? Yes, sir. Hey, guys, listen, I can read this whole thing. Wow, I can read this whole thing. I'm probably gonna, wow. Oh, look at this. Look. I understand you to say that these 700 or 800 persons, listen, talking about a lot of people here, that you designate as mulattoes are not Negroes, but are a mixture of Portuguese and Spanish white blood and Indian blood. You think they are not generally Negroes? The dude, look, the dude asking the questions, he's just like, come on, man. Come on, man. Just tell me the truth. I know you African. I know you were Negro, man. Stop lying. He's really trying to get it out of him, right? He's really trying to get it out of him. What does he say? No, I do not think that the Negro blood predominates. They talking about Africa. They're talking about African. Because anything associated to Negro, they try to relate to African. The word mulatto means a cross between the white and the Negro. In question, right? Yes, sir. You do not mean that the word to understood in that sense when applied to these people? I really do not know exactly how to describe these people. The most of them have bushy. Most of them have what? Bushy. Listen, guys, come on now. Like, this is a body bag on top of body bags, yo. Kinky hair. They have bushy, kinky hair, and they are about the color of a cross between the white and the Negro. They do not exactly partake of the characteristics of such a cross. Wow. I don't know what else I have to show. Like, hold on. Let's go to page. Look, there's so much in here. This guy, there's so much job. I'm gonna read this. All right. I'm gonna read and pull out the babies one day, right? Okay. Don't worry. We'll come back to this. We're gonna come back to this for sure. We're gonna come back to this. So look at all the families again. Look. Chavis being a name that in Roberson County always indicates Indian. Yo, money. Yo, money. You know what's up. Yo, money. Yo, Anu. Yo, all the Chavis out there. You already know what's up, man. I know you do. A family name for Indians, whites and blacks. What blacks? Whites, that's crayon colors. Whites and blacks, that's crayon colors. What you talking about, man? So look at this. They're the families, right? The Chavis, Jones, Barley, look. Jones, Williams, Barley, look. All right. Let's just go here real quick. I want to just show you one thing. Okay. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Okay. Let me zoom in a little. It says the memorial of the undersigned respectfully represents. The county of Robeson is cursed with a free colored population that migrated originally from the districts round about the Roanoke and News rivers. Roanoke, huh? Roanoke, huh? And that's where you connect the lost colony of Roanoke and the Croatan Sephardic Jews and the Indians that helped them and became these families. I'm telling you something deep here, guys. They only say it's a lost colony because they don't want you to find out these were all melanated folks. When you start finding out that their descendants are alive through you guys, through black folks. I'm serious. This relates to the Croat. Like, remember when they came back to look for the lost colony, supposedly, right? Walter Raleigh, I forget his name, or John, what's his name? Ah, Francis, I forget which one of them. They're all cousins. They're all like brothers. Anyways, he came back and they saw a sign that said Croatan. That's all they found in the town. That's all they found, supposedly, right? Who does the best genealogy study besides me? Honestly, I can't even. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't mean to. I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. Just I've done hundreds of trees for black folks, and I let them decide. And they always tell me what they think, right? After experiencing everybody, they tell me the truth. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Because a lot of people are biased. You got to understand, if your genealogist ain't trying to tell you about black Europeans and black Indians and try to talk about white Europeans and Africans, then they don't know real history. And if you don't know real history, you cannot do genealogy correct or interpret what you see correctly. This is literally what I'm showing you today. Literally, I'm showing you, literally, the context that is always missing when people do genealogy. Okay? So Roberson County is cursed. Cursed. Why are they saying it like that? You see the undertone, the racist undertone, cursed with a free colored population that migrated from Roanoke. They are generally indolent, roguish, improvident, and dissipated, having no regard for character. This is when they're mad at them because they're getting killed by them. Henry and his relatives and friends slash outlaws slash gang, like right, AKA, like that's what they're trying to. Yeah, they're murdering them. That's why they're talking bad about them. And that's, they say, free colored population, huh? Indians and black Europeans. And they are great toppers. And so long as they can procure and accelerate in drought, seem to forget entirely the comfort of their families. Of the community as a whole, in some context at least, was referred to as free colored. Individuals within it were specified differently. A surviving partial list of taxables for the county shows that many people with Indian surnames. Pay attention. Indian surnames, Lowry, Oxendine, Chavis, Luckily, Revels are listed as paying the white poll tax, including Allen Lowry, who are literally in the free African American. This is exactly what I was just talking about just now to you, Adrian. If we see white, we might find a record list. Oh, that's a white man. Nope. Not knowing that he's in the free African American, not knowing he's also been called mulatto and also been in the black. Listen, watch. So him and Mary Kumbo, who own 400 acres, a few with the same names. Listen, a few with the same names, meaning it's the same family, are listed as paying the black poll tax. They were literally separating families, guys, by white and black or Indian colored, right? Free colored or white status, depending also on the shades of complexion. People are starting to racially, with the concept of race, classify people. You guys understand what they're telling you here? This is drop. This book is really good. By 1845, many of these same people were. I'm gonna share this on my Patreon, by the way. I'm gonna share these books on my Patreon page, by the way. I'm gonna share these books on my Patreon page. I do that all the time, just in case you guys don't. I share a lot of books on my Patreon if you want to support me that way. Okay. Many of these same people registered as paying black poll tax. Again, same people, white poll tax, black poll tax, a community they were increasingly seen as free colored, as individuals in the category of citizens, which is what the poll tax indicated. They could be either white or black, and they were rapidly increasingly becoming categorized as black. Okay, okay, they spilling the beans. They spilling the beans. Okay, paper genocide, reclassification, reclassification, reclassification. I'm seriously done with this. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more, man. There's one thing I can't stand. I can't stand no more. Oh man. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end, I think, of today's presentation. We're here 2 hours and a half. That's pretty long for the new people. I want to make sure people actually sit down and watch this. By the way, this is a Jacobs. This picture right here is from Robeson County. He is listed as an Indian as well, and he's from the Jacobs family. This picture right here. And it's funny because I did the AI image to the left, right? Yeah, that's the AI image because we don't have real, because they whitewashed our ancestors, and your ancestors and made everybody look. Yeah, okay. So we got to create AIs now. All right. So I literally said, give me, Lumbee, a black Lumbee Indian. Look, that's what they gave me. I literally said, show me a black Lumbee Indian from the Eastern Woodland. And that's what they gave me, right? And then I found this image. Come on now. Woo! I know a lot of you probably, no, they don't look the same, man. Nah, they don't look, man. Yeah, because one of them got feathers, the other one got a hat. So your brain is like having a brain fart. Nah, that's a Negro and that's an Indian, Kurimeo. They're two different things, man. It's the same before and after, baby. Before and after. You get it? That's what they just said. Let me go back. I think that drop needs to be repeated, right? I need to repeat that drop one more time. These people who are free colored, they have what? They were either white or black. They were rapidly increasingly becoming categorized as black, though. As time went on, they got disfranchised. This change in destination in the context of the changing political economy was an act of violence. That was an act of paper genocide. I hope you guys understood my point and my message today. Thank you, Keith, for sharing your tree and your family story with us. Because he did give me, he said, yeah, go ahead and do it, man. I don't mind. So thank you for that. I thought it was going to be a great lesson. Every time I do genealogy, guys, I find little isolated stories like this that I could do so many videos on. And you guys know, everybody I've helped out with, you know what I'm talking about. When I find that stuff in your family tree, I should have done the videos like this. I should have went right away live, right? There's so many examples of this, guys. You guys, I hope that if you were new to my channel, you had some doubts. Today, you guys kind of see how this happened massively, guys. This happened in a large scale. This happened in a large scale. This happened massively. It's not just a couple examples. We've shown dozens of cases, thousands, hundreds. We've shown it. Okay? So I hope you can break out of your spells. Hold on, I'm looking for, here we go. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. This was out of the blue, and I just did it. We did it live together, surfing the wave, man. We're breaking spells, changing history together, waking up, remembering, activating. Activate. I'm trying to tell you something here deep, guys. And again, you saw that it was also Black European in this. So let's not be biased, and let's not judge others. Know people's genealogy before you want to start judging, no matter what they look like.
Out of all people, you black folks, so-called black, mi familia, my family should know that because of what has happened to your people, what has happened to your ancestors. Much love and respect. Pura vida, mi gente. Hawaii.